As the title suggests, I'm going to be demonstrating how to fix various bugs and issues you'll encounter or may encounter while trying to set up LEGO Dimensions on PC using the toypad emulator or just the built-in RPCS3 Dimensions manager. And just to clarify, this is not a tutorial on how to set up the toypad emulator or just LEGO Dimensions on PC. There are separate tutorials for that. Go watch them if you haven't set it up yet and want to set it up. This is just if you have problems setting it up, this is how you may fix some of those problems. And the first one I'm going to be doing is this error on screen right now. There are no keys found for LEGO Dimensions. So if you're on Cemu 2.0 or higher, open up your Cemu, go to File, and then click Open Cemu folder, and it should open the folder we need to be in. Or if it's on lower than 2.0, you won't have that option, so you'll simply just have to navigate to this yourself. It will be wherever you downloaded Cemu to, and then you just go in that folder. And then this keys.txt right here, you'll need to edit that to include the key for LEGO Dimensions, which I don't know how, if YouTube's gonna let me display it or tell you. So I'll have a link to like a paste bin with it in the description. And there's gonna be quite a few links in this video, so I'm going to organize them and I'm just gonna number them. So this is link 1 to get the decryption key, and you paste it into this text file, and then LEGO Dimensions should run. The next issue is, well, this is various issues that can come from what you're seeing, which is the toypad is not detected. The first simplest one is you launch the game before launching the virtual machine and LEGO Reader within virtual here. Both the server and LEGO Reader need to be activated before you start the game, otherwise they won't register properly. But then if you're still having issues, first of all, if you're on RPCS3, you can ignore this if you're on Cemu. But if you're on RPCS3, you can see here on the GitHub and the troubleshooting, you need this program here called Zadig. So if you download that, just scroll down here to downloads. And then we open it. So yeah, if you make sure your virtual machine is on, and then LEGO Reader is on here. If LEGO Reader isn't coming up, that'll be an issue later discussed. I will also discuss that issue. So now if you go to Zadig, options, list all devices, it should be on LEGO Reader. If not, you can select it from the drop down menu. And then as stated here, it should already be transferring to WinUSB. It's not, you can click the arrow to get to WinUSB, but it should say that here, and then it'll say that here, and then you click replace driver. Don't do this if you're on Cemu. It will break it for Cemu, but it will fix it for RPCS3. I'm not going to click replace driver because I use Cemu, but if you're on RPCS3, that will need to be done. So the next issue is just like while trying to set up your virtual machine, you are just encountering issues and you can't do it. Also, partially if LEGO Reader isn't showing up, this can also be a fix, because there are two options here in the tutorial. Where on the virtual machine, there's recommended VMware or VirtualBox. VMware works quite a bit better for this. So if you're on VirtualBox, switch to VMware, and that might fix some of your issues, e.g. LEGO Reader not showing up. Although irritatingly, VMware have decided to make it pretty difficult to try and download their software. So I'm going to do a tutorial on how to do that itself. Because if you click this link, it isn't just as simple as download. Brought to this. If you click download, you're brought to here. It wants you to make an account. I'm going to guide you through making all that. Yeah, so on the user registration, you can enter your email, or you can use a fake one. I use mail1.io. You can copy that and paste that into the email address, then do the captcha. Then verify it. And then ask you for all of this information. This does not need to be accurate at all. You can just enter whatever you want. Well, I would keep the country accurate. I think it comes up later. And then obviously a decent password you remember. And create account. I'll do it later. And once you're here, you can go back and click this link again. And sign in. And then from here, you can see all these VMwares, and we want the VMware Workstation Pro, because they recently added a free mode for personal use, which is just what this is. So once you're here, click 17.0 for personal use Windows, and then 17.6. And then check the box. I've already done it, but there is a box you have to check roughly here to accept terms and conditions, and then it'll make this download button available. You'll see we need additional verification. I don't think any of this needs to actually be true necessarily. Let's see if this works. Okay, and it worked. Yeah, you can just make up most of the stuff. I think it does like the zip code. Check and make sure it's a real zip code. So that does have to be real, I think. Anyway, now you can click the download button. And it will be downloading VMware. I've already got it, so obviously I'm not going to install it. But yeah, just set up, install that, and what you can do is, additionally, if you already set it up for a first time and it didn't work, remember that you have to go through a bunch of steps to set it up. Well, on VMware, there's a pre-made machine that's already set up and working, so that you won't cause any issues by making a mistake during the setup. So that'll be under link 2. It's just right here. So to put it into VMware, you download this. Download as a zip. You obviously extract it, and then in VMware, click Open a Virtual Machine, and then navigate to where you downloaded the file, and select the .vmx. It should be the only file in the folder that's visible, because it says here it only support files of VMX, OVF, and OVA, and the file you want is the .vmx. You select that, and it should come up in here. Then you launch it, and the password to log in is 4 A's, so A, all lowercase, and then that might fix any issues. You can try Lego Reader again, and it should now come up. But if it does not, there is further solutions. Also, if you're on RPCS3, sometimes you will get this error, which is the PS3 application has crashed. This is often due to the toypad not being able to detect it. So if you get that, do this anyway, because this will hopefully fix it. As you can see here on the GitHub page again, it says virtual here USB client doesn't show Lego Reader 2.1. Obviously, first of all, the hostname needs to be set to Debian, which it is if you use the pre-installed one I made. If you made your own, then you have to restart, so either make your own again or use the pre-made machine. And then here you just have this command you need to run in your virtual machine. And obviously, as it says here, replace your IP address with your actual IP address. So yeah, where it says here in the command, you'll need to edit that to be your actual IP address, which I'll show you how to get. So once you're here, just activities and then terminal. And to get your actual IP address, run hostname space dash capital I, and you have your IP address. We need to be in the Lego Dimensions toypad emulator folder, so CD and then Lego toypad emulator. Now we're here. Now we can run the command. Edit the IP address. To be your actual IP address. And then once you click enter, it surprisingly it didn't ask me for my password. Usually it will ask you for the password, and then when you type it out, it won't appear on screen, but it is actually typing. So if you just type it out and click enter, then it should be good. And it worked. If you get this head is now at, this may change on further updates, merge pull request, and then this is just the latest update. And then after that, reset your restarts your virtual machine, and make sure you've properly exited virtual here in order for once this is started up, you can then launch virtual here and test to see if the Lego Reader comes up, which it should. Okay, now we've restarted, we can launch virtual here again. And it should now be here, and you can double tap it and it will start to use. Now if it still isn't showing up, you can muck around and try other things if you want, if you kind of know what you're doing. Yeah, mucking around with the virtual machine settings and stuff. But if you don't and you can't get it to work, your last resort is you can use the RPCS3 built-in toypad. So if you're on Cemu, you have to switch to RPCS3 to re-download the PS3 version of Lego Dimensions. Yeah, so if in RPCS3, if you go to Manage and then Dimensions Toypad, you get this. I'm just going to give a brief explanation of how to use it. It looks pretty obvious, but some people seem to be surprisingly struggling with it. Obviously, it's all blank at the moment. To create a character, you click Create, and then you can select from the list of characters what character you want. You can create Batman and create, and I can, not sure what it's directed to, System 32, but just save it somewhere you know where it is, because then you can save it, and then another time you can click load and just quickly load it in. Clear obviously clears it, and move it to somewhere else for the puzzles in Dimensions. Now the tricky bit is the vehicles, because if you notice and you click create, there are no vehicles in this list. That is because it's like in real life where all of the vehicles were just blank tags, and you have to write to them within the game. So what you do is you just create just blank tag, figure number 0. You create that and name it like Batmobile. And you do it in the middle one because that's where it wants to save to. So obviously when you go through the tutorial thing at the beginning and they force you to create the Batmobile, when you go through the instructions and then at the end when it comes up with the now save your toy tag, you create a blank tag in the middle here. If there's a character here, just move them out and you create a blank tag here and it should save to that blank tag. So that blank tag is now the Batmobile. And with any other character, if you're just on a fresh save, the first time you become that character, it will bring up the instructions so you can create the vehicle there. Unless it's a level pack or story pack character, you have to go through the levels to unlock the vehicle within them, and then you can write to them. And if you just want to access every vehicle immediately, there's a zip file with almost all of them in already. It's like pre-created for you that you just simply load in. So I'll link that in the description. I think that's link number 3 now. And it is missing the Sonic and the Mission Impossible vehicles, but I'll also link them so you just put them in yourself. I think I'll put them all under the same link in like a paste bin just so it doesn't clog up the description. Okay, the next issue is if Cemu is just stuck loading. What helps is if you can downgrade to the 1.6, which is a more stable release if you're on 2.0, because that seems to be an issue that people sometimes have. So yeah, link number 4 will be the download to 1.26, and you just download the zip, extract it, and if you already have Cemu set up and stuff, you simply take the files from 1.26, copy them, and overwrite them into where you already had Cemu installed, so that you can keep all of your like settings and stuff, and it'll just downgrade the version. The next one is if you've got Lego Dimensions working on Cemu, the toypad is working and everything, but the DLCs aren't working properly. Maybe some of them are working, but some of them not. First of all, you need to make sure that you did download all 4 DLCs, because, for example, if you downloaded the game from Internet Archive, they only have the first DLC in there. You need all 4. Yeah, you can get all 4 plus the update from this Wii U downloader, like this link number 5. Yeah, and you just click releases, download the zip here. I already have it. I think it will ask you first if you're wanting to use it on an emulator or a real console. Obviously you pick emulator. If it doesn't, make sure that decrypt contents and delete encrypted contents after decryption are ticked. And then obviously just tick your region that you want. Make sure it matches the region of the base game. So if you've got a Europe base game, you have to get Europe here. Even if you're in USA, the Europe one will obviously work in USA. It doesn't really matter, it's just kind of for languages and stuff. Yeah, if you search Dimensions and then all, you can see there's the top one isn't relevant, but there's 4 DLC and the update. If you look at the end of the DLC, you'll see 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0 is the one that you'll have if you downloaded it off of Internet Archive. So you might be missing 1, 2, and 3, so make sure you get them. But also, if you did download all 4, they probably won't be working properly because they need to be rearranged. So obviously to install them, you would have done in Cemu, file, then install game title, update, or DLC, and gone into the folder and selected it and installed it. So then if we go to Cemu folder, we go to MLC01, then USR, then title, then you should, okay, my one's a bit of a mess, but you should only see 3 folders here. ignore the long ones, and you want to go into the one with C on the end. Okay, so in here what you should see is 4 folders if you've correctly installed all of them, ending with 00, 01, 02 and 03. And if you go into all of them, there should be code, content and meta in all of them. Copy the content folder, go into 00 and paste it. And the same for all of them. So if we go into 02, copy the content folder, paste it in here, and go into 03, copy the content folder, go back into 00, and paste it in here. And now it's probably taking up quite a lot of space, so you can delete the rest, and it should just be 00 with that in the content folder. And this is what yours should look like. Ignore this bit at the top, you're just where you were just originally, you don't have to move. And there should be 6, and if it worked you should be able to go into 010, and there should be 8 files here. DLC 10 is the one that was already here, and then 17, 22 and 28 are the ones we took from the other folders and put into here. So you should have 8 files in here. And now the DLC should function correctly. So the next issue is if you're on Cemu and everything's working properly, the toypad's working and everything, but the faces are green and red like this. Go down screen, it looks like this. They look all weird. The fix for that is if you're on 2.0 or later, then you simply, okay, sorry, I don't have the game currently here. I'm messing around with some stuff, but you would have it here. You would right click it and click delete shader cache, and that should fix it. If you're on earlier than 2.0, you want to find your Cemu folder, wherever that is, it'll be where you downloaded it, and find the shader cache folder and simply delete that. And now the faces should be back to normal, mostly. For me, it fixed it for everyone except Metalbeard. Metalbeard still had a green and red face, which is a bit odd, but it fixed it for everyone else, so it's fine. I've covered all the issues I'm aware of. There obviously are various other issues, just random stuff not working. Obviously, if you don't really know what you're doing, just switch to the RPCS3 toypad manager, because then you're only worrying about RPCS3 not working. You don't have to worry about a virtual machine. I've covered all the issues I know of and can fix. So now I'm going to go through enhancements, just improvements to make the game run better or a better experience. So in Cemu, the default is just like 720p 30 FPS, which is kind of the Wii U, but you can change that to 4K 60 FPS. If you right click, go to edit graphics packs, these probably won't be here, but if you click download latest community graphic packs, and then they should pop up. It's here, Lego Dimensions, and you can go to graphics and click resolution. You can change this, so if you're on a wider screen you can do a fix for that. And there's also, there is 8K, and then just obviously 4K here. You can just use 1080p. I'm just on a laptop, so 1080p is good for me. And then on the mods there's 60 FPS, which you can just turn on, which works really quite well. Sometimes this can cause graphical issues, so obviously just turn it off if it causes graphical issues, but if not, it's pretty good to have these on. If you're on RPCS3, you can use these settings on screen. I don't use RPCS3, so I don't have these set up. These should give you 4K 60 FPS, but what isn't shown here is the 60 FPS bit, so I'm going to show you that bit. So what you have to do is right click your game, don't right click the PS3 interface, right click your game and create a custom configuration from default settings. And if you go to, do that for the others. So before, you right click, create custom configuration, and then under GPU you edit all the settings to look like what was on screen, and then the 60 FPS bit is under advanced. In the bottom right here, it says V blank frequency, and it should be on 60. What you want to do is set it to 120 and save custom configuration. That will up it to 60 FPS. Another one, there's just some very small time save, is in your virtual machine. You'll know if you've set it up, but every single time you want to boot it up, you have to type out 2 commands that can take 30, I don't know, it doesn't take that long, but it is a bit of an inconvenience. You have to type, obviously, I spelt it wrong, there we go, and then you would type node index.js, and that starts your server normally. But what you can do is, what I have set up is create a shortcut so that you simply type toypad and the server's running. This is optional. This is just if you want a quicker, better experience. So you have to download the file. I think this is link number 5 now. Link number potentially. I don't know. I'll display on screen what actual link number it is. But download that. What you want to do is go to activities and files in your virtual machine. So what you want to do is go to actually it won't be here. So right click, new folder, and call it bin, just like this one here. And then inside bin, you want to place the file in here. You can just copy and paste it from your normal file explorer where you downloaded it, and you just put that here. And then you want to open up terminal, and then you do this command, Control-Shift-V, and paste this. I'll just put it as a link number 6. I think we're on. If we're not on link number 6, I'll display on screen the actual link number. It isn't a link. You just want to copy and paste this. It's not that long, so you could just type it out. But if you do want to copy it, on chmod +x -wigiline/bin/toypad, and this basically just tells the virtual machine this is an executable file, and you just click enter. You should just do that, and now you should be able to go toypad, and it runs. So the next one is obviously another optional one. It's for on your toypad. On the toypad, normally you will just have names. You can see for me, I have this little icon here. So if I create any character from here, a Wonder Woman, it will come up as the vehicle, Wonder Woman, sorry. And then if I just create a random vehicle, Cemu, yeah, there's Cemu as a picture. So what you want to do is, if we go over to the GitHub and scroll up to adding images, first of all, it needs to be on the latest version. So definitely, if you run that other command to fix Lego Reader, it for some reason doesn't quite work straight after that. So what you want to do is come to this update section and copy this and paste it into your virtual machine, and then just run it just to make sure it's up to date. And then what you want to do is link number 7, or I'll correct myself on screen to the real link, but go down to that and download that file. It has all of the icon images that you need. And in your virtual machine, go to activities and then go back to files, and back on the main page, you want to extract the zip and copy the folder with the same name as this folder. You want to copy that and paste it in here, and then to check it worked, you can go in this folder, go to server, then go to images, and they should all be here. Don't worry if Batman looks like this. He does actually work. Obviously, you saw he worked right here. But some of them don't display properly in here. Yeah, as you can see, it's got all the vehicles with the correct names because you need the ID. So the final thing I'm going to be going through is being able to use the toypad on your phone as opposed to your computer. Because obviously you're playing the game on your computer. You don't really want to be just switching between that and then a tab with the toypad in. Another reason to use this is I find personally for me that using the toypad on my phone is far more responsive than on my computer. Like it seems there's like a little bit of a delay on my computer, but like that doesn't seem to be on my phone. And sometimes switching around the characters while still on the toypad doesn't quite work on my computer, but it works really well on my phone. So I don't know if that's a universal thing or if that is just me. But yeah, that is another reason to use it. So I'm going to show you how to get it on your phone. So you need to do some port forwarding. So for that, you just search for firewall. Open firewall with advanced security. And go to inbound rules. And then scroll across until you see local ports at the top. And then you can like filter that. And so what we're doing at the moment is checking to make sure if another application is using the port 8080, which is the one we're using at the moment for the toypad. So if you scroll down to that, you see here there's 80, then 80, but then here we have 8080 to 8082, which covers 8080. And that's actually being used by Spotify for me. So if you also have this where 8080 is being used, you'll have to do what I'm doing here and change it. So you can see I've already got two 8083 ports because I've already put them in place. Obviously, you only need one. So what you do is click new rule up here in the top right, and you click port. Next, it should be on TCP. Then specific local ports, you type 8083 or whichever one you want to use. For me, I'm using the next available one. Next, then allow the connection. Next, these can all be ticked, and then you just name it, name it toypad, and click finish. And that should be good. And then the second part is go to your file explorer and go to your main operating system drive, and you're going to go to program data. It's actually a hidden folder, so it might not show up for you. So what we have to do is click view, then show, and tick hidden items here. If you're on like a different version of Windows to me and you can't figure out how to do that, just search up here and search for type program data with capital P and a capital D, and just click enter and it should put you into the folder. And then scroll all the way to the bottom and click VMware, and in here there should be a text file named vmnetnats.conf. There are some other similar named files, but make sure we want the vmnetnats. So open that up with Notepad, and then scroll down until you get to here with incoming TCP in square brackets. We want to add our bit to here. Scroll down to the bottom of it, and you should have this SSH thing, and then it should go incoming UDP in square brackets. So you want to put it in the middle, and you'll just put, well, this is just a comment, so this isn't necessary, but you can put hashtag port forwarding rules, and then 8083 or whatever port you're using, equals, and then the IP address of your virtual machine, which, as you remember, we get by in the virtual machine typing the command hostname -I, and it's the IP address it gives you there, and then :80, then file and save, and close that, and you'll need to restart your computer for these to go into place, and then I'll just prove it to you that it works. One way to test if this works is if you go in a tab, and if you go to localhost :8080, then it should come up with the toypad if you haven't done this, or if you did it and clearly it didn't work, because this is what it used to be, 8080. So now if I type 8083, it comes up with the toypad. So yeah, you can test to make sure it worked. Okay, now I'm in. If I go to the toypad, oh yeah, I find it too zoomed in, so I recommend like zooming out to about 50%. Yeah, anyway, yeah, just I'll prove it works. Put in shell, and she's there, and then if I close that, so yeah, that's everything I'm going to be covering in the video today. I hope it worked for you. As I said earlier, there are other issues listed on the GitHub, so if I didn't cover one, it might be on there as well. Also, if you go to the, I'll show you here. So there's more down here and stuff, but they're just ones I've never seen anyone have, so I didn't bother covering them. But yeah, if you go to the issues section and go to the closed issues, these are people having an issue and then it's fixed. So if you search or look for one that's similar to yours, click on it and see how they fixed the issue. This person had this issue and then they got it working, and this is how they did it. So yeah, if this helped you to get it working, then have fun.